we're going to be having a look at how coordinates work in the Scratch program, and to do that we're actually going to be building a house using the X and the Y coordinates, which you'll see written down here, which is not always obvious to you when you're actually creating the game or creating a drawing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say goodbye to Scratch, the character. I'm going to right click on him and press delete, and I'm going to go and find a pencil instead. So I've gone into my sprite library and I'm going to scroll down until I find a pencil. I double clicked on it so that it's now selected and it's sitting on the screen. What I'd also like to do is on my screen I'd like to very clearly show you what the X and Y coordinates look like and whereabouts they're positioned. So I'm going to change my background. I'm going to click on choose backdrop from library and I'm going to scroll right down to the bottom. You will see that it says XY grid. So I can either double click on this or I can click once and click on OK. The choice is yours. So now you can see we have the X and Y coordinates on our backdrop or our stage at the back. And just to demonstrate to you, the Y is the blue line that runs from top to bottom. It starts off at 180 and it goes right the way down to minus 180. The X is the orange line that runs from left to right, and just like a number line, it starts off with negative values on the left hand side until it gets to 0, and then the values become positive and go all the way up to 240 on the right hand side. So if you look in the center, you will see that this is X equals 0 and Y equals 0. So it is at this point that their values change from positive to negative on both lines, on the Y line and on the X line. All right, so let's move forwards and let's start to create a script that's going to draw a house for us. We're going to start off using the events hat, and the two buttons or the two controls that we're going to be using the most are the motions and also pen. Okay, now can you see at the moment if I click on pen I've only got one block here. If I click on motion I've got no motion blocks, and it tells me very clearly that I have the stage selected at the moment. I'm going to click on pencil and hey presto, all of my blocks come back. So let's start off with the pen. Oops, let me just go back onto my stage. Can you see I've got my hat there? I don't need that on there, I need it in pen. So I'm going to drag it across to pen, and I should have one in pen as well now. I'm just going to delete that little fella there. Click on pencil, and here we go. When green flag clicked. So first thing I'm going to be doing is I want the computer to put the pen down. So the game or the program is going to make sure that the pen is going to be drawing from this point onwards. I then want my pencil to move so that it actually goes to an X and a Y coordinate. We are going to be using this coordinate an awful lot, as well as pen up and pen down. Okay, let's start off with X being 0 and Y being 0, so that the pen goes to the middle of my stage and we can start drawing. So if I click on the green flag, what you'll see is my pencil goes to the middle here. Now what you need to understand is that the pencil, the center of the pencil is where the sprite originates from, so that's why the center of the pencil is sitting on 0 at this point. Okay, so once we've done that, we actually need to make sure that we don't get these random lines appearing over here. So I'm going to go back to pen and I'm going to use clear so that it will actually clear any pen marks before it starts drawing my house. All right, I'm going to duplicate this block. Let's get rid of Mr. Clear. And I'm going to duplicate it again and again, just to get a couple of blocks for me to use in a minute. Okay, so we've already gone to X and Y equals 0. So now we're going to start drawing our house. We want X to be 0 and we want to change Y to 100. If we click on the flag, then what you'll see is that it starts to move in an upwards direction. What you cannot see at this point, because it's on the blue line, is that it's actually drawn a line from 0 to 100. Okay? Let's make our next move. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say x is going to be 100 and y is going to be 200. Click on our flag. I won't do this all the time, I promise. And what you'll see here is that now the pen has changed direction and it's started to go up at an angle. Okay. So our next move is going to be, we're going to reverse this because what we're trying to create is a roof. So x is going to be 200 and y is going to be 100. Last time I'll click this and we'll let it do its own thing in a minute. Okay, so it goes up and comes back down. You'll see that this is a mirror image. Okay, let me duplicate a couple more of these. Right, so we've gone 100 to 200, then 200 to 100. We're now going to get x to go to 200 and y to go to 0. We'll bring up our next block. Let's just duplicate it first. Okay, let's get the pen to go back to its starting point. So it's going to be x is 0 and y is 0. Our next move is going to be that we want it to go x is 0 and y is 100. We have one more block to join onto here, so I'm going to click on this block here, and this time it's going to be that we're going to make x 200 and y is going to be 100. Why don't you give that a go, sort out your code, click on the green flag and see what happens, and we'll continue on after this.